Hey guys, okay, so I wanted to make sure that I got everyone's attention, and as you can see, my Instagram name has changed from christopherwilliamsdc to MJ's Blue Thriller, and I explained that meaning in one of my previous videos, and you can look at that and see for yourself and see how it was and why I did that. But I'm actually not going to explain it in this video. I'm actually going to explain it in another way. And I'm going to just share with you all some input of what I've been posting on my Instagram. And it's all about why African Americans and people of color should be running the country. Now, there are the people of color that are actually taking part in running the country. And scientifically, we are the ones that make the world go round. I know you've heard that saying before. The world does not move without black creativity, and that is absolutely correct. Because the Confederate system, which is the system that everyone is used to, and some of us are still working within the Confederate system, almost everyone, and that was started by Caucasians. And yes, people like Frederick Douglass were just so happened to be working within the Confederate system because he was in government. So he was working along with, but he had a lot of creativity. And so as any other African American or person of color, they've had different type of abilities that help, advance America as it is today. Just like African Americans or Africans had built the White House and the U.S. Capitol and other government buildings to help establish America because they needed slaves. It was extremely hot, and they worked in all type of conditions, even in the winter and things like that. But blacks were the ones that were building this nation, and today we still are. But another reason why I said that it's very important that we have Caucasians step aside and allow the change to happen. And some Caucasians have stepped aside and they've allowed the change to happen. I'm like, okay, well, I can't do anything about it. Or, okay, well, this person knows how to do this better. Or this person has a great idea. This person wants to take over certain things and manage it in a way to get everyone living a prosperous lifestyle. Okay, and not to say certain Caucasians haven't been doing that, but it's the science behind a melanated person because we have the same bloodline as Christ. Now, yes, there are some Caucasian people who have the same bloodline as Christ because they have been mixed bred throughout their generations, and it is some of that blood is still within them. And I wanted to say how powerful it is to have someone who has a lot of Christ's bloodline within them, that they need to be, and not to say that they aren't, because scientifically it says that, they are already here. They've always been here, no matter what. And they were called the gods. They are called the gods. But it's very important for African Americans to run the country, the world, period, because the very first ethnicity on the face of this earth were of color. It was a black race, okay, dark-skinned race. Then it multiplied and multiplied, and different things happened along the way. But we have the Christ blood inside of us, and we are very, very important. And it's very important that we continue to have us rule the food, how people make a living and make their money. The Caucasians designed the money system, okay? So just imagine how, ancient scriptures has already said that we created these things, it's already ours. And then the Caucasians came and invaded, they put a price on things and put their face on currency and made them try to control pretty much everything. But a lot of things has failed because of them orchestrating certain things, like people not knowing how to heal their bodies naturally because of the demand for meat and breeding animals by the millions just to make sure everyone gets something to eat of meat, when that's not anything natural and we don't need that to survive and be healthy. A lot of people get sick, and it's because they're consuming things and taking in chemicals when there's tons of natural things out there that we can consume and intake in our body and not overdo it. And it's almost impossible when you have a world that has a system designed to have money controlling things that is saying, well, we're going to give you this cigarette with chemicals in it, but you have to pay us. Or we're going to give you this meat and this dark meat is not good for you, but people want to eat meat, but really people want to live. And the Caucasians has programmed certain individuals by thinking that they need these things and they want these things, but really they want to live. So if you want to make them be at the point to where they don't have to be losing their life because of certain things that's causing it, then you should take the thing that's causing it away. And some people don't agree with that practice because now they feel as if, well, people are going to want this and want that, and it's not going to be there. So there's no way that we can take certain things out of the system, like all meat and like animal products, land animals, and slaughtering them in a slaughterhouse and things like that, because they're going to want it. But if you don't program that for their head in order for them to think that that's what they're going to need, there wouldn't be a need for it. So it's just like, any other situation. If you don't want someone to have something to like your child, if you don't want your child to become sick for something, or if you don't want your child to stress about getting certain things that they're not able to get because it's out of reach, or they don't have the finances for it, for the prices that you put on certain things, then you're going to find a hardship. So many people have a gift, for instance, to go make money, or to make a living, because the Caucasian did the money thing. In ancient scriptures, they had different ways of getting things that we needed to stay alive, or things that we wanted, but it didn't have a huge price on things because certain things were traded. Goods and certain herbs and things like that can heal you, that were, people would say, I'll trade you this health for that, or I'll trade you this thing for that. And it wasn't, someone's face was stamped on the money or anything like that. It was just, strictly a melanated system that people were working within. So that is why I said that all African Americans and people of color should be running this country. And if you look around, everything is being controlled by melanated people. And some people thought as if, it was going to be another 400 years of people, allowing certain Caucasians, it's not all Caucasians are bad. Not all Caucasians are doing the wrong thing. But most of them were repeating a system that was here years ago, when we're living in a new area, and there's no need to repeat anything that's enslaving people. It should be something new so that people can have a prosperous lifestyle. That's the only thing about it. So I wanted to say that, and that's my reason for having African Americans, my reason for African Americans and people of color doing something totally different by allowing no other person than their own race and people of the bloodline of Christ, because that's melanin. When you have Christ's bloodline inside of you, that's melanin. Christ was melanated. Okay, so that's why we are called gods and goddesses, because we know how to make other people live healthy and happy and prosperous, and ourselves, and the world will move around, and no one will be out there trying to rob or becoming sick and doing things out the way just to make a living, because they feel like they have everything that they need. And you do, but when we can see the Caucasians taking away certain things that they don't see themselves, now it's important for us to step in and allow this whole world and nation be ran by people who are melanated, because we know how to treat other people And that's why it's very important because, it's not, I don't want any Caucasian person to blame themselves because you can only blame yourselves if you know the information and then you repeat it, or you let someone who we think is in charge of certain things, repeating things over and over again. We cannot let those people stay. So they have to leave, whether it's one way or the other. You know what I mean? They have to leave one way or another. And that's my reason. Because everyone wants to live a prosperous life, but not everyone is willing to take out the main people who are, allowing people to repeat the same process over and over again. You don't have to take, this is not the 1800s or the 1700s. We don't have to take them out like kill them or let them die. No, this is a brand new 20th century. This is brand new. You just won't have a job at the place that you are working at, that you are in position to have control for certain things. You can have another job. It's just that someone else will be replacing your job and you'll have something else. Then you'll have a prosperous life because you didn't die. You'll be healthy. Everything around you will be changed. You don't owe any taxes. You don't have to worry about being sick anymore because there's fruits and vegetables everywhere you go. Look at all this land that's open. That can be crops for fruits and vegetables. You don't need a slaughterhouse for animals. There you go. See you guys.